well, there's a couple of things. There's a couple of things you're working on currently, I think, or are about to come out when we're recording this. They may be out by the time it comes out. But Big Boys has been like a massive success, which I saw a bit of the time, but I watched it today again, and it's a tell us about what the idea behind that sitcom is and how you got to be in that sitcom.
Big Boys is it's written by Jack Rook, who I met quite a few years ago through my wife, who you met earlier. Mm-hmm. I meet everyone through my wife, actually. I met you through my wife. I met Jack Rook through my wife. And yeah, so it's a sort of semi-autobiographical story about him losing his father and then going to university and kind of coming out and dealing with his sexuality. And that the first series is a kind of sort of coming of age sort of story that morphs into more of a like friendship / family unit, I think.
Yeah.
And he meets my character, Danny, who is this kind of unlikely sort of duo, this sort of lad's lad, or seems to be like this lad's lad. And so, they sort of start a kind of unlikely friendship. And it's very sweet and it's very funny. And
yeah, it's an interesting character because I think, again, if you only watch the first couple of episodes, maybe the first episode, there's little hints that there's more to your character than it appears. Not that it's still not an interesting and insane character, but it's about.
But I know, yeah.
It's, he seems like a nice but laddie lad.
Yes, I think it's good because for years I sort of had this running joke that every casting I got, I would look at the sides, the script, and. Every character I went up for would be like, is there going to be any girls there? That was the sort of general attitude of all of them.
Yeah.
Which Danny is, but it was nice to sort of get that and be a character that subverts that sort of trope.
Yeah. You know? I think you got nominated for a Bafta for that, which is an incredible achievement.
Yeah. It was lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what it must be like.
But you were on the board.
That's a secret. I told you must never tell anyone. I decided one year I had to decide the best entertainment male, I think is what it was that I had to decide.
Yeah, you're in the corridors of power.
Yeah, I could have made or broken you. So remember that. Be nice to me. Because I might be, they won't have me on because now I've talked to this. One of the rules, is
this the rule?
You must not talk about the experience at all. I talk about it all the time. To everyone I couldn't find.
Why? Well, that's ridiculous. Why?
I don't know. They take themselves pretty seriously up at Bafta, and rightly so. It's a very serious one.
It's an award, right?
Yeah.
For someone who's really good at entertaining people.
Yeah.
But you mustn't talk about it.
I think it's true across all of the things. So it's a secret about who's deciding, and because it's different every year, right? So they change the panels, and it's a different panel for each category, and some things go on in that room that you're not.
Oh right, it's because it's okay.
But actually, you don't know who's won until I think we sort of maybe knew, but you've got to put your vote in so everyone could lie
it's
about it.
It's definitely very serious. We had a great time. I loved it. But there's a side of it, the serious side of it, that makes you feel nervous about. It's the awards. It's big. Maybe that's important to sort of keep that.
It is. But I think it is. It's a lot of. I think it's easy for an award to become devalued and be not that important. And I think, although I have to say this because I work for them. No, I don't. I think BAFTA remains one of the ones that I think you think. It is a seal of approval.
Yeah, and they do loads of amazing stuff.
And nominations as well. It's not so much in the entertainment category the year I did it, but every other time.
Yeah.
It's like a really important thing. So it must have made a big difference in terms of your recognition within the industry.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so. Yeah, it was really nice thing to happen, and I think you do have to sort of think that it's also just what it is. Doesn't sort of mean everything.
No.
But it's a bit like with the Edinburgh Award. Like once, I remember after Big Boys come out, there was a few people that were like, BAFTA, you're going to get BAFTA for this, and people saying BAFTA. And I sort of remember feeling like, oh, you ruined it now. Because if I don't, I'm going to feel like I've it's like not achieved what it should have achieved. And the show's enough. Like doing the show and being in it and having everyone sort of the response it had is enough. But it's also nice to have a BAFTA as well. That was nice.
And you got ID'd when you went into the Royal Television Society Awards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you do look young.
I was like, I haven't got it. I thought, you can't come in.
Was it because of your age, or because you had to be like identifiable as you?
Oh, I didn't think of that. I assumed it was an age thing.
Yeah, I mean, I assume it is.
Really, really strange. I don't know what was happening to that particular person at that time.
No.
But it just suddenly was like, oh, I'm trying to get into a nightclub. Like, that's what it feels like.
It was bizarre. Not letting you in. That would have been pretty impressive.
I know, but eventually I found a picture of it, and that was okay.
You've had a picture of your driving licence?
Yeah.
Online. Ready to go. And there's another series. You've finished the second series. That's coming out pretty soon, as we're.
Yes. I don't know when this will be out, but maybe it'll already be out by then.
I think it'll be out and finished, and your career's over. That's what I've heard. They found all your secrets, and there seems to be like from the first series. There seems to be like I don't know, because Jack sort of is narrating it and talking about you, and it's all narrated towards you. Do you know where it's heading? Is it heading somewhere sort of dark, or is it going to be, or is it going to be an ongoing thing, or is this just two series wrap it up?
I think the second series it sort of goes deeper into everyone's sort of storylines a bit, and I mean, what can I say? It's sort of it does. I guess it does sort of carry on down that path.
Yeah.
But I don't know where it necessarily is going to end yet. But series 2 is, what can I say? What am I allowed to say? Well, if this is out in April, I guess it's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm still there. It's fine.
But I think I've read people saying it's very big for men's health and men talking about stuff. Yeah. And your character's kind of has a erectile dysfunction problem because of medication he's taking. Which again, for that case, is such a great idea, a great idea and a great thing to do, to make a character like that be that vulnerable, and the very essence of him really being kind of challenged by that. So it's a very moving. It starts off, you think, oh, okay, I've got it. It's going to be kind of quite a silly, not quite in-betweeners, but the in-betweeners at university a little bit sort of thing. But it's a lot deeper than that, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what Jack's definitely... All those shows that we all sort of grew up on are like definitely an influence on it. And yeah, it's heavy stuff sometimes, but I think it is, and hope that it's sort of dealt with by us and Jack in a way that's like... that it works because it's still funny and it's still sort of full of heart, and so you can kind of get away with it, I think. Yeah.
Do you feel? I mean, I can't tell with TV anymore whether this is a really successful TV show and been nominated. But people, there's so many TV shows and so many channels, and less people are watching TV. Yeah. Does it feel when you walk down the street? You're saying "We to Bix Go." Is you recognised for that? Are you recognised a lot for Big Boys? Is it?
Not loads. No. I mean, when it's sort of on, there's a sort of, it's kind of in, it's sort of around and it's in people's kind of minds a bit more. But yeah, so it depends. It doesn't happen very often. No, not really. I get a bit of everything. It depends where you are.
I just thought it's interesting the way TV's developing, because again, in the 90s, I mean, apart from my TV show, if you were on TV, then there weren't many people on TV.
Were you hounded then?
No, I mean no, and I mean it was sort of so weird. The people who liked what we were doing still like it 30 years later, but it was a minority. So what would happen? Yeah, exactly. There you go. 147 people in Northampton. One of whom wasn't born at the time, have stayed very loyal. But, what would happen? I remember, there was one time a group of blokes were walking on the other side of the road and said, "It's that cunt off the TV, let's get him."
Really?
Yeah, but then they didn't get me. I just carried on walking, but they didn't. They made out like they were going to
we didn't get
beat
him.
the shit out of me.
We should have got him.
They were just trying to scare me. And there was, what happened quite a lot, I remember being in the street and a guy would come up, be really excited, and go, "God, it's you, I love your show. Guys, it's Guy." And the others go, "Who is it?"
Yeah.
Like eight other blokes go, who is it? And then the person who'd recognised me would get angry with me for not being famous enough to... I'd embarrass him by not being well known enough for his friends to know who I was.
Or the friend that doesn't know you will go, no, he's not. You think, well, I don't know, you started this situation.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I get a lot of that.
Yeah.
I get like maybe one person in a group will recognise me, but the others, and he just then has to explain to them, and they just sort of stare like, as if like, well, go on, do something then. That's a sort of... Well, come on then.
Fail to get an erection. Prove it.
yeah.
I'm trying to fail.
Yeah.
I'm very different in real life. It's just a character I play.